Hello, it's the Intrepid Wino here, otherwise known as James Scarcebrook, with a Sunday evening Let's Taste. Lovely weekend, tasting wines, going to wine bars, and I thought dinner at home with the family this weekend. You can probably see I'm wearing my Blur t-shirts that I got on Tuesday night, which was awesome. I have to admit I was drinking gin and tonics, I wasn't really drinking wine. But we did have the last of the Grenache wines we had on Monday night's live streaming Let's Taste. I'm not sure if you were able to tune in live or if you've seen the video since. Thanks to everyone, of course, for tuning in and for watching that video. It was a really awesome experiment. I can't wait to try it again. Hopefully next time with some winemakers, which will be lots of fun and a really good way for people to interact and ask questions of the winemakers. But anyway, I thought I would open something that I bought recently and something that I bought a long time ago. So I've actually got two wines this time, a little bit different. The first wine was bought last Saturday down the Mornington Peninsula, and it is the Main Ridge Estate Chardonnay 2013 vintage. Main Ridge Estate makes probably still my favourite wine in the world, which is the Half Acre Pinot Noir. And it was great to visit the winery, the cellar last Saturday, and actually secure some wine for myself, including a few bottles of this 2013 vintage of Chardonnay. So I thought I would open it up and talk about it. So they've been using screw caps for many years, which is really exciting. So very small vineyard, one of the original commercial vineyards, I think probably the original commercial vineyard in the Mornington Peninsula. Very classic, particularly Victorian Chardonnay. It's got a lovely kind of golden colour to it, and but it's still very bright, and it has a lovely kind of sparkly kind of gleam to it, which I really like. But it has very classic citrus, stone fruit, peachy kind of aromas, and you can see, particularly in the youth, it shows some lovely lees characters, some citrus pith, some very, very delicate kind of dried biscuity kind of notes. Let's taste. There's quite a bit of generous fruit here. On the palate, you see more of the stone fruit, a little bit less of the citrus. If anything, it's very, very ripe lemon heading into kind of orange, but it's more about that peach, nectarine, apricot. It's got a very supple texture to it, and I think that really has come from a little bit of old barrel work and some time on lees, which has softened things out, given it a bit more texture. Full malolactic fermentation, I would think, with this one. So it has that kind of very lovely creamy kind of structure or texture on the palate without it becoming really broad and buttery and unfocused. It's a very well contained Chardonnay, but it really is in its infancy. This is the kind of Chardonnay that should be put down. It's lovely now, but it's a kind of wine that really does benefit from age. I think I have maybe a 2004, 2005 Chardonnay in the cellar, thankfully under screw cap, so no danger of it being corked. So maybe I'll open that up at some point in the near future to sort of see how it's traveling. But this is one that you need to be putting down, but I think it's going to be lovely for dinner tonight. A really good start. The other wine opening tonight is from the Yarra Valley. We're really talking two of Victoria's premier cool climate regions, and this is the Tarrawarra Pinot Noir 2002. Back then, I don't think there was any distinction between reserve or estate. They only made Pinot Noir and Chardonnay. So this is the equivalent of the reserve wine now. This is in the 2002 vintage. From memory, I think it was a cooler vintage. Thinking back to my days working at Domaine Chandon, 2002 was a stellar year for sparkling wines because it was a bit cooler and therefore really good acidity, ideal for the base wines that are made for the sparkling wines. Red wines, generally the fuller varieties, Shiraz, Cabernet, that kind of thing, did suffer a little bit with ripening. I think they sort of had a slightly greener character, but if made well, if they knew what they were doing, Pinot Noir wines should have been good. So let's see how this one is. The cork is in very good nick. You can see it's barely even stained, the cork, the wine. Let's have a look at the colour. It's showing a little bit of development in the colour. It's still retaining a bit of colour there, but it's picking up a little bit of brown note in the colour, and that is a reasonably good indication of the age of the wine. Quite savoury on the nose. It's got, I think, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a bit of whole bunch involved with this wine. Here we go. The 2002 vintage was relatively cool. Picking commenced 2 weeks later than 2001. This one doesn't say. 2,300 cases made. Yeah, look, the kind of maturity, the mature sort of wood notes doesn't make me think barrel. It makes me think stalk. So I think that there was a bit of whole bunch fermentation in here. But you do see very, very like cranberry heading into like holly berry aromatics. Just, it reminds me of like, I don't know, like Christmas wreaths for some reason. Yeah, the savoury elements come through in the wine as well. It could be a reflection of the vintage, the cooler vintage. There being possibly less generosity of fruit, you know, vibrant sort of cherry, strawberry notes, more in that raspberry, cranberry realm. And with that age, that savoury element's really coming through. It's very light in terms of concentration, but I think it probably needs to open up a little bit. So I might even decant that for dinner. But it's still in good nick. I think that's my last bottle of 2002. I've got a 2001 in the cellar. Again, maybe I'll open that up at some point in the near future. But it's a really interesting expression. I think even in the early 2000s, Yarra Valley Pinot Noir still hadn't really kind of hit its stride. So good example. I thank you guys for watching this video. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, please leave me a like and comment on the video, and make sure you're subscribing to my channel, particularly because I'm going to do some more live streaming tastings in the near future. Yeah, I hope you have a lovely evening, and tune in next time. Cheers.